Folks, it is time for Bird of the Day. We have slain the bird. So now let's learn about the bird. Because everybody knows that the bird is the word. So the bird that we saw up there, it was big, it had black wings, had himself a bald head. Why, it kind of looked like a type of vulture. And what's the type of vulture? A big one with black wings and a bald head? That's right, today's bird of the day is the California Condor. Look at that handsome fella. With his feather boa, his big wings. Yeah, that's why I wanted to do dry desert. Because we wanted to encounter our bird of the day. And that's where we are, folks. Time for bird of the day. Yeah, the California Condor. Kind of a famous bird. He's a famous bird. Well, it's a big story on this bird. We'll get that. Let me tell you about the California Condor. They are 43 to 55 inches long. Oh, it's big. 8 foot 2 inch to 9 foot 10 inch wingspan. Oh, it's a big wingspan. That's real big. 9 foot 10 inch. Oh, that's so big. That's bigger than me. That's bigger than me. So big. And weighing 15 to 31 pounds. Oh, they big boys. They big boys. Big boys. And they live up to 60 years. Oh, it's a good lifespan. Good lifespan. 60 years. All right. Yeah, we like that. So you see the little regions there. Now, why they called the California Condor? Well, it looks like kind of like hanging out in California. The light brown area is the areas where they used to be. And the dark brown areas are where they are now. And that area over there on the right, kind of in your Arizona, New Mexico area, is that's where they've been reintroduced and where they're trying to rebuild populations. We'll get more on that later. They are in the order Aciptriformes, which puts them alongside hawks and eagles. Then when they split in Cathartidae, that is going to be your vultures. They are a type of vulture. There's only 2 types of condor in the world, but a condor is like a subset of vulture. And we have the Andean condor and the California condor. And today we talk about California, because they know how to party. California knows how to party. And be the topic of every Red Hot Chili Pepper song. So let me tell you about these little fellas here. They reach social maturity around 6 years old. So some birdies, especially your little birdies, they're gonna be having little baby birdies of their own the very first spring that they're fully alive. So it's just like, hey, I'm an adult after 6 months. Next year, I'm having babies of my own. Well, not the condors. Not the condors. They wait till around 6 years. But they hang out in the flocks. Very social birds. And they'll hang around their parents and other condors. And it's during those, first 6 years or so, they're looking to establish themselves in the community. And be like, I'm useful. I'm big and helpful. Which one of you awesome ladies wants to be my mate? And ladies, ladies, the males got to be selective about the ladies too. Got to have good, powerful ladies. When they make their choice, and they be like, "Hey, you, I want to have babies with you." They stick together for life. If one of them dies, then the other will, sometimes pick up a new mate, sometimes not. Hard to say. We don't have a huge study on them because, well, I'll get to that. But when they do, the male and the female will leave the flock and go kind of flying around together. And the male's just going to be following her lead because she's going to be like, I want this nest. This looks like a good spot. And so the nest could be a pre-made Obviously, the nest came first, but trust me, the nest came first. But anyway, the nest was often pre-made by another bird. So they like taking over old eagle and hawk nests and other stuff like that. So that's pretty neat. And then, but they might also, make nests in like a little alcove on a cliff. They prefer high spots, nice high spots. They want to be up high and away from things. So the only predators that their eggs, have to worry about are other birds. But predation isn't really the problem. They're usually able to fend off other birds because you're bigger. You're incubating, and both parents take turns incubating. And once chicks are born, both parents feed the chicks. It's very cool. But they're very protective of their eggs. Very protective, because they only have one every other year. You're like, oh my god, no wonder their populations are so low. They're not having enough eggs. Well, you think about it, though. Little bird lays 6 eggs a year, lives for 3 years. Okay, it's 18 eggs. Condor lives 60 years. They could be laying 20 eggs in that time frame. Maybe more. Maybe 25. Up to 30. You never know. So, one bird can make a lot of babies. It just takes them some time. But they live for it. Now, their diet is entirely carnivorous. But, come on. They're types of vultures. They don't hunt. So they're in an order of birds with hawks and eagles. So they classify them as a bird of prey. But these guys ain't predators. They don't hunt. They wait for somebody else to do it for them. And they swoop in and they eat. Yeah. They got big, powerful, tough beaks. Good for... they can rip through cowhide. Very good at ripping through thick hides. And ripping it through, and they can get the tasty meats and organs on the inside. And they'll stick their heads way in there and really get all the good stuff. And that's why they have bald heads. Because there's going to be lots of guts and blood and gristle, and it's a lot easier to clean off a smooth head than feathers. So it's, but these guys... rather than eating a couple meals throughout the day, they're gonna eat maybe 1 or maybe 2 meals all week. But they're gonna gorge themselves. It's like, we're going to the buffet, baby. Eat. And then they may not eat again for a few more days. They can hold that meat and get a lot of good sustenance over time. And that works out good for them, because there may not always be, a carcass available for them to eat. And when they do it, they're going to do it communally. Come on, that's like the old Western thing. They're hanging out, dying in the desert, and the vultures are circling overhead. No, that's these guys. Can I see a video? I got a video. I'm going to play a video. Thanks, Lance Milbrand, for your videography. I appreciate it. I really do. Some good people posting stuff on the YouTubes. Look at them. Yeah. As you can see, they are soaring birds. They got those giant 9-foot wings, so like these birds are sustaining flight, but they're not having to flap their wings to do so. It's they just catch those currents, and with very little effort, can soar for long periods of time. Oh, look at them. They're social. Hanging out. Look at these buddies. As you can see, all of these ones are tagged. Pretty much every condor that's alive is known. So they're all going to be tagged. They're all going to be tracked. And don't worry, those tags and trackers, they don't hurt them. They're able to perfectly live their lives unimpeded with those on them. It's no big deal. The ornithologists know what they're doing. Look at them. What they're doing right now is they're basking in the sun, trying to get... That's a rabbit. This is not a California condor. This is a rabbit. I don't know why that footage was put in there, but that was not a condor. That's condor up on the rock. Made that little bird. I couldn't tell what that was. It flew by. Yeah, you see, they like to sit up high. Yeah. Oh yeah, big yawn, big yawn. These and the red rocks of the American Southwest. Very pretty area. That's where I like to be. Look at them, big red heads sticking out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they look a little goofy with no head feathers, but I bet I wouldn't look very good without any head feathers. Yeah, just a majestic flight. Yeah, it's so nice. Some good footage of those condors there. So I was talking about they big boys. They big boys. They in fact are the largest land bird in North America. They're bigger than all the other eagles and owls and all the other large birds. And we ain't got nothing like emus or ostriches here. So yeah, they big. They real big. Now you may think it's like, they're scavengers. They're going around carcasses. Well, the thing is that after they've eaten, they actually very meticulously clean themselves and each other. They'll go find water, wash themselves off, preen themselves. They're really, really good about actually trying to keep themselves as clean as possible. I mean, you got it. You got it. You don't want to risk infection. Very good. So, yeah, as I was saying, these are kind of a big example of a peanut hitting my head. Thanks, Dubby Dog. But anyway, they were down to only 22 condors when they in the 1970s. 22. That is not many. Not many at all. And it's like, well, what happened? Well, it was a mix of things. Hunting didn't help. They were very prized for their feathers. And oh god, oh no, Okay, bye, Rodney. Yeah, absolutely a genetic bottleneck. And in fact, it was through. Okay, they were not hunted for their meat. They were hunted for their feathers. But
Squishy.
Squishy. The number one thing that was given a big problem was, of course, the thing that messed with all the birds of prey in the 1970s, DDT. The worst chemical ever made if you're a bird. I mean, seriously, this chemical messed up so many birds. So many birds. And what it did is basically, it didn't kill adult birds. But what it did do is made the shells of their eggs completely unviable. Uncapable of supporting a little baby chick. And so birth rates dropped to near zero. And amongst all the other things, it's just, also loss of habitat. It's lots of bad stuff. And only 22 are left. But some scientists realized this, and they got some help, and they got some government intervention. And it's one of the big success stories. It's still not good. They are still critically endangered. But 22 in the 1970s, now they're up to 537. And I had mentioned the Andean condor. They're doing much better. But it was studying the Andean condors and with a little bit of crossbreeding that they were able to get the California condor back up to, a growing population. It's still way too low, but it's growing. They're working on keeping as much genetic diversity as possible. It's a bad situation, but they're back on the right track. And luckily, population growth is exponential. So here's hoping that they can continue to grow so that they can continue to poop on their own legs to keep cool. Oh yeah, they poop on their own legs to keep cool. It's like they can't sweat, they can't spit on their legs, but they need to cool down. So they're like, oh, I'm gonna shit all over my legs and use the moisture to cool. What the hell? I mean, they're not the first bird I've talked about that does that. But every time I see, you know who doesn't do that? Crows. Crows don't do that. But you know what makes them like crows? That they're very communal and social. Family groups. They take care of each other. And they help each other find food. But there is a hierarchy. And the big mean daddies get first. They get first dibs. They get first dibs on that good carcass. Now, they do try to make sure that everybody gets fed. But I mean, there's definitely a hierarchical order on who gets fed first. And it's just the way it is. But yeah, they're actually real smart birds. They, like I said, they got good communication, great family stuff, but they've seen participating in play. You know, behavior that seems to have absolutely no purpose other than to be fun and, you know, make a bond between the birds in the community. So I think that's great. Well, of course they're not as smart as me. I'm a crow. Nothing is as smart as a crow. I mean, yeah. I'm real smart. But condors, smart, cool, yeah. So what are my thoughts? I mean, I absolutely adore the California condor. I mean, look at those wings. Fantastic. These guys are great. And I mean, I'm so sad that they almost got wiped out. I mean, how awful. But they're recovering, and I hope they continue to recover. Cause yeah, they're an amazing, beautiful bird. Look, don't knock them down because they're bald heads, okay? Okay, they can't help it. It's genetic. It's genetic. Yeah, their heads are a little ugly, but it's like she may not got a great face, but damn, she got a nice body. Is that sexist? Yeah, it's a little sexist. Yeah, anyway. These guys are great. These guys are great, and, you know, if you're ever in California, keep an eye out for them, because they're cool birds. It would be amazing to see one. And here's hoping that they continue to grow, because Corvus Twig wants to see more California condors. Yeah? Showcase how humans can recover and sustain nature. Absolutely. But also how, you know, we're the ones that messed it up in the first place. But yeah, that's the thing. It's just like so many of our environmental issues, we can fix them. We just have to want to, and we just have to do it. But that's so, you know, let's do it. Let's have more success stories like the California condor, because they're an amazing bird, and the world would be lesser without them. So we're going to call this bird of the day done, and get back to some games. All right.